Now, we had a lot of fun at the skate park with the Arrma Quake Grom. I have to admit, I like it. It just seems to drive so nice. I'm happy with it so far. I think the longer wheelbase is why I like it more over the granite, and it flies pretty flat. Now, because the weather's crabby, it's thinking of other things to do in between. And Brent, with his one over at Adventure Time RC, he put on drift wheels. So I've got some old drift wheels, but I'll show you what I don't like. See, there's the drift wheel. Though they're not hugely different in size, these are like I said, from touring cars. Basically, they're 1/10. You can see the problem. They are too small. So they're out for me because it doesn't suit the truck. You know, because of doing this. So what I'm going to do is, well, what happened was, he says, look on somewhere, I think it's Yegi, whatever it's called, and he says there's something there where they do, there's some wheels for drifting, and I had a look and I didn't like it. So I'm going to design my own. Now, after some test prints and things, this is the final design I've come up with. This basically looks a bit like a skateboard wheel to me, but it's a simple wheel, but it's the size of the monster wheel. I've made a raised bit in the centre to mimic the originals, and then, like I said, I chamfered the edges well, so it reduces the grip area, which you want, because I'm going to print them in PLA, and then on the inside there's a hex, which is now designed to fit the hex of the car, so we know that should fit, because I've done some test prints. Basically, you do a little cylinder with a low little disc, but thick enough to do the full size hex, and you keep making them until you know they fit. And sometimes it helps. It had to be, in the end, though it fitted, it needed, after main printing, a bit of tinkering. So there's the design. Let's get them printed. Well, it's over a day later, and these wheels took 5.5 hours each one to print. I've got a torch here so we can see inside better, but you can see I printed it with the hex down. That's where you can run into issues of the hex size, and it's quite neat and tidy, but the reason you print them down is so when you've got the outer, it's a much neater finish. There's a slight, I put a slight chamfer downwards and inwards to give it a bit of look, but the only trouble is once they're not lit, they're quite plain looking. So what I'm going to have a go at is trying to paint the inside a bit and change the colour of them, you know, just to make them look that little bit nicer. And they'll be better on the car, because I'm going to put a couple on. We've got a right noisy seagull, haven't we? I won't mind, but I'm quite a few miles from the sea, as in 16. There we go. You can see size wise they're pretty even, so I think they're going to work. like PLA is a hard plastic, so they should work like drift tyres, the material. But like I said, I'll get them painted up, get them on, and we'll see what that comes out looking. Well, I didn't do well with the painting, so I cheated a bit. I put some blue trim line tape around. It's what's used on model boats. It just tidies it up a bit better. And it gives it a good contrast, the colour. You know, it makes them stand out now. See, now they seem to have a bit of depth. You know, when they're all just printed in one colour. Not so good. But then the thing is, I only use black filament, because a lot of the time the stuff I do is painted. So let's get the wheels on and you'll see it finished. There we go, the wheels are all on. They look quite, I hope you like the look of them. I know they're a bit OTT, but like I said, a bit of colour gives them that depth of field which I wanted. Got quite lucky with the paint though. I found some FX4, which is yellow green, and I'm going to be truthful, it's a pretty good match to a Quake. So painting the wheels up with that, good idea. But next time I design wheels, instead of doing the angle bit, I won't worry about the fanciness, but what I'll probably do is make the centre part just 1.5mm thinner, or a mil, and then make up a disc that fits over, which you can paint up and glue them in. No masking, paint, glue, done. But I'm not going to change these now. I might do when I make, if I need another set, but it's down to how well they work. As for going out, at the moment it's peeing down, and if it's like it tomorrow, I've got a little plan and I'll try something and then we'll see it running.